Okay, so what we have on the front burner for today is awakening. And I had the most interesting experience. I was talking with Jeannie a little bit before. When do I start putting these ideas together? They happen, they start Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, Tuesday, when I'm doing something. And I was unloading the dishwasher. And surprise, surprise, I discovered an empty cabinet right in the middle of my kitchen, right above the sink. And I've been living there, I'm going on my second year in this place. And do you know, I've had such a battle with above, those two little cabinets above the stove? Well, I was stuffing all of these, perfectly good, use again, to-go containers. And then they started cascading downward every time I opened the cabinet and falling on my head. So I did a nice clean out. And I recycled a bunch of them, and I just kept the ones that were really useful, and I stacked them very carefully and put them back up there. Well, we have more than that, because we also purchase things for making and packing lunches when we go, and so on. And I had no place to put them. So I'm fighting with another cabinet that's down by my ankles on the other side of the dishwasher. And there I'm trying to keep all of this stuff that has to do with making rice and using the blender and making tea and French press and to-go cups. And the same thing's happening, it's just not falling on my head. And then I open up the dishwasher and I accidentally open this cabinet. It was just empty and it's been there all along. And I thought, now there's a good idea for a talk. Right? Okay. So, another thing that we do, and I've been quite the nomad, so I carry a lot of books around, and I've had a lot of movement in my life leading up to being here, she said. And you know the deal. You get this book, you hear it's really great, you're moved to buy it, and then it sits on your shelf for 3 to 5 years or something. And then one day you open it up. And you read it, and it's perfect for where you are in that moment, right? It's perfect for that moment, not the one before or the one before that. That was just preparation. That was just, the stuff of life being present and available for you when you're ready. So this is another kind of something that just shows up that's been there all along. Sometimes when we have those experiences, we can go right to, well, what a fool am I? Why didn't I know that sooner? Why didn't I see it sooner? And I'm glad that I could just be amazed and laugh about it. Because there's no positive return on regret. And the truth is that we make every discovery at the perfect time. That's the whole point. We make it when we're ready. And we're ready when we need that thing. And it's always right there, whatever it is that we require. So what I wanted to do was look a little bit at the relationship between us and some of the ways that we're built and wired to do this, to recognize things when we're ready. And I feel like I still have something on my mind. Some of these things are called our 5 senses. This is starting with the basics, right? We notice things when they show up in a physical world because we have 5 senses. We see things, we hear things, we smell them, we taste them, we touch them, right? And all of these give an indication of a great deal of information about our environment. Very, very useful. Do you remember, did you ever do this when you were a kid? When you didn't want to listen to somebody, you'd cover your ears and go, I can't hear you, thinking that would work. Or maybe you did the one where you cover your eyes and say, I can't see you. Or you did both because you just wanted to block this person out totally, and that was about the level of your coping skills at the time. And of course it didn't work. We can't just ignore something and make it go away. It's not that simple. We just have this brief period where we fantasize about it, and it doesn't work. That's because denial or repression, none of those things of pushing away or stuffing down do work. The truth of the matter is that there is information in that scenario, in that interaction, in that experience that is for us somehow. But if things show up when we're ready, and they don't always look so neat, and our senses suggest that they don't smell good or taste good or feel good either, it is really great that we have a set of reflexes that protect us. If you've ever been working with something and you're not wearing safety goggles and you've splashed it, you notice how quickly your eyes close? There's no, gee, should I close my eyes? No, it just happens. There is this primal protective element about our biology that makes sure that happens. Because if we waited for you to decide, well, it would already be in your eye, wouldn't it? So we like those reflexes. But what we do with the information, the feedback that we get from our situations and circumstances in the physical world, involves something more. Like we said, denial, pushing away, pushing down, that doesn't work. It's something about knowing what to do with it. And that's where our sixth sense comes in. Because there's more to our wiring, there's more to our design than just this primal recognition of what's going on around us. If we can stop and take that information that we've gotten from people, situations, circumstances, take it within and consult with our inner tutor, our intuition, our inner teacher, we can find out what those things mean. For our intuition, our inner tutor, the answers don't involve process at all. That eternal knowing, of course, means that it's always there. And that inner knowing means that it's within us. So it's inner and it's eternal. It is all-knowing. So it's always in us. It's always got an answer. It's always right there. It doesn't have a process. But we're free, too. So it can't give us answers unless we listen. Right? Essentially, they'll fall on deaf ears, so to speak. However, if we willingly take what we've experienced throughout the day or what we are experiencing in the moment and just stop and ask, we will instantly get an answer. We will instantly get our solution. We will instantly identify what it is that will fulfill our need. Because the intuition is part of that non-local, beyond time and space field of all-knowing that doesn't require a process. It doesn't have to go onto the internet or into the library or buy a book and read it from front to back. It is the essence and the field of all knowledge, of all knowing. And we all have that within us. So our sixth sense helps us to know what to do with the other five. That is more than just this primal, getting by for another day, and when you're hungry you go kill something and eat it. It's so much more than that. We are wired and designed for so much more than that. So, has anybody ever had an experience where you've had to stop in the middle of what you're doing and make a new choice? Perhaps to avert danger? I see a lot of nods out there. Yeah. I remember we were talking about something in our Beyond Limits class on Thursday night. I remember one where I went out for my first kayaking lesson on a gentle river. And I had my helmet on and my nose clip, which is supposed to keep water from going into your nose. Good thing. And I got into the kayak, and they fastened the spray skirt around me, so me and the boat were now one. Handed me the paddle and said, okay, Eddie out, everybody. We're going to go down there, and then we're going to do some training on how to roll over and how to get back up, bow rescue and all this nifty stuff. So I eddied out and went right over before I learned what to do about it. And instantly, I was floating down the river upside down. Yes, I let go of my paddle immediately. I have a boat tied to my body. Okay? And my arms are capable of flailing. I'm upside down. I have a helmet on. The clip's keeping my water out of my nose. This is all good because there's rocks and, And I have 1 second to remember something really important. Stop panicking. Pull the ripcord. Release yourself from the boat. Then you can breathe. So all in the flash, my mind is going, and then this voice just pull the cord. Do not panic. Pull the cord. And so I did that, obviously, and the boat broke free from my body, and I from it, and I got my head up in the air and gasped for breath, and and then we went and did those damn drills to learn what to do, because the instructor wouldn't let me off the hook, But that was a nanosecond of this could be the end. There is no breath. I cannot inhale. There is no option to breathe. Nothing. In that moment, I got the clarity and did the right thing and got out of that. That was not my best thinking. That was not my intellect. That was something that is dedicated to my care and my safety and my livingness that told me precisely what to do in that moment. Interesting thing in exploring Nelson Mandela, Mary Morrissey released a video, and she actually talks about him in the Prosperity Plus class already. She had a desire to meet him and to ask him a question. And her question was, how could you, after 20-some odd years, 27 years of incarceration, how is that possible that you could have those experiences? Not only that, but emerge to become the president. Not only that, but emerge to do what you've done. And he said, I am not the same man I was when I went in. That man could not have become president. That man could have not done those things that I did. He became someone else. And he did it because he chose to. Think about it. What were his 5 senses telling him about what was going on in the world and how hopeless it looked, how heartless it looked, how set in stone and insurmountable and unchangeable, how defeating. And he made another choice. And what he did is he took within all of this feedback from the outside world, and like he talked about, friends who invited him to have a different point of view. He found this other point of view that came from that voice of the all-knowing, all-loving, ever-present, eternal wisdom and life within him. And came to the recognition that we all have it within us, which is the most tangible evidence of our oneness. And he became that person that was before just a possibility within him. Each and every one of us has a daily life with stuff going on out there that doesn't look so great. We have stuff going on that doesn't sound very good either. We have things in our lives that may not smell or taste good or hurt to the touch. Maybe we're going through something physical that is so convincing that it is insurmountable. But there are so many stories of so-called miraculous healing. The moment any being makes a new choice, every cell, every organ, every tissue, every system, every friend, every family member, every neighbor, and so on, and so on, and so on, every element gets a new instruction, a new invitation, a new idea, a new blueprint, a new possibility, a new script. It can change in an instant. Because that is the nature of real life. And that nature is within each and every one of us. It can change in an instant. So there's actually this partnership. This idea of awakening involves a partnership between our five senses, which are part of how we're wired to live and to operate and to be home base for spirit as us in the physical realm. But there's a partnership between those five senses and what we call the sixth one, which is that place within us that is our God self. It has never dreamt of separation. It has never imagined anything but harmony, nothing but unity, nothing but oneness, nothing but love. And we all have that within us. So when we take the stuff of our days and we take it in and lay it on the altar of that inner tutor, that inner knower that we have and that we are at our core, we get all our answers. Everything makes sense. The funny jobs we've had along the way, the turns of events, the things that didn't work out the way we'd hoped that they would, the accidents, they all make sense. Because every single thing has some element of information in it. And it's all made of good. And it is here to inform us. Not just of what's going on, but that we live in a loving, constant, responsive universe which cares for us as aspects of life, as aspects of love, as aspects of itself. So we can have every day be really great. We can all discover the kitchen cabinets we didn't know we had. We can all avert danger. I bet many of you have had this experience where you're on 95 or the turnpike and you sense that someone is going to change lanes. They may or may not signal this indication thereafter, but you already know. Because whenever we get into that place where we're tuned in, we move together just like fish and birds. We have that capacity. So we can use it not only for our safety and well-being and fulfillment. We can use it for harmony in our relationships, for our health. We can use it for our creative self-expression. We can use it for our prosperity. We can use it as the most delightful avenue imaginable to be part of bringing peace to the surface within each and every one of us on this planet. So that's our awakening today. Our awakening is that however many of us there are in this room, there are that many great people in this room. Not just the ones we see on the front of the newspapers and primetime television. We all have greatness. We all have greatness to deliver by means of us. And the way is made clear and easy. And so safe and so loving by our senses, by our inner guidance system, by everything that is forever showing us the way and wrapping us in the arms of love. So we're just going to close this with a spiritual wine treatment. If you'd like to close your eyes. I speak my word in gratitude for our awakening to the truth of who we are. I speak my word in gratitude for our awakening to the truth and the love and the perfection and the life that we are. For the recognition that each of us and every being is one with this truth, this love, this perfection, and this life. And that it is all that we can see, all that we can embody and express and experience, all that we can encounter. And so it writes the script for every day of our lives so beautifully. I speak my word for my readiness to know that we easily and effortlessly open up the gifts within us and all around us this life has to offer. Say yes to harmony, because it is Spirit's highest and first law. Say yes to unity, because it is the first law of all creation. It is inevitable. Say yes to beauty and joy and fun. Say yes to goodness and bounty and every good thing. And in that saying yes, I know that our lives are up-leveled, opened, they blossom and grow. We become more joyous. Our joy is infectious. We become more prosperous. Our generosity is overflowing. And we celebrate a global awakening. Global joy, global beauty, global peace, global fun. In gratitude for this and all of the beautiful, exquisite ways that it does show up and continues to do so, I give thanks. And together, as we open our eyes, we say, and so it is.